Everybody back at it. Wanted to go over and discuss Mai Shiranui SP Talent tree. So we'll go through the whole spec and kind of do the summary. Kind of look at the summary of all this stuff, what I chose: Captain Mastery, Insight, Immortality, Headsman Execution, Immortality, and then the last one I think is Cunning. I put on my burning ship, of course. I put it with Linae for the SP buffs, for basic tax damages to do more, and then also with Demona, of course. And we'll go into the specs. So she's a damage healer, of course. The SP talent points is an overall boost, not just to the hero, but the overall ship. So by picking points, knowing what heroes you have in the ship, you'll be able to increase your damage points. So for her, specifically, I went with agility. She's damage dealer, right? So I went with more with agility, as well as extra attack, crit damage. Okay, and that stacks with the other SP heroes that are in the ship. Dexterities for the armor pen, strength for the attacks, Captain Mastery because she's in the captain. And then keep in mind, guys, always choose stats that are base points orientated instead of buff orientated. So like strength, constitution, agility, or dexterities, you get more out of it if you have that mastery versus something like extra HP or armor or impact. Okay, went on to crit damage reduction. Find that most important. Agility. The first thing I went with for is the Insight. I think the Insight, tested it with a few other ones like Frenzy and Insight. Insight just ended up doing a little bit more damage for me. So that's what I went with. Extra attacks. Crit damage. That's a great buff. Crit rate, since she's a damage dealer. Strategic reductions, just because it's a burning ship. So it has a disadvantage against strategic ships. So strats for a burning ship is really important. Strength for more attack powers. Damage reduction, of course, versus the fighting will. Skip these. Toughness. Avoidance, crit damage reduction. Agility over life. Went with Headsman's execution. So I went with this one because of the wounding. So she does super high damage, right? And anything under 50%. Additional damage for anything under 50%, which is wounded ship. So I picked the Headsman for her because she does a lot of damage. She's a high damage dealer, and anything under 50%, she does more damage. So she's like a finisher. I have two other SP heroes that I'm going to go into and talk about. I have Sylvia and Demona. They have Battle Call. So I use those two SP heroes to bring the ships and heroes down to under 50. And then my train of thought is Mai will finish them off, right? So that's seems to be working pretty well for me. And that's what I'm sticking with. Two SP heroes to get them under 50, and then one to finish them off. Excuse me. We went with extra attack again. Crit damage, of course, because at this level she does a lot of higher hits. Her hits hit harder, so there's more crit damage to be involved. Okay, same thing with the crit rate. Crit rate is better. I went with this one instead of like extra impact. I might try specking it a few other ways where I go for extra impact instead of the crit next time around. Strength, consistent attack power, burning damage reduction, and then damage reduction. Skip these 105 talent points. Went for crit damage reduction. Same thing, agility. And then the 120 skill, I went with Cunning. Cunning is meant for more for the burning and drowning heroes, and that's what I ended up going with, versus something that's quick load for basic attacks, and then fire range is you get one range. It gains one rage every 5 seconds. So it's rage regenerator, but I think fights last pretty quick, so you won't get full utilization of it, versus where Cunning overall does more damage. I think that's what I went with. Overall, my SP hero is 125. Most of my other heroes are 125. I'm kind of leaving it at that so far. Haven't gone all the way up to 160 yet, just because I want to. Seems to be like if you get them to the 125 spot, that's a little bit more of a kind of like a hot spot for me. But as soon as I get more points, I will level it into this one here. Increasing urgent mobilizations. I think once I get to 140, I'm going to go with urgent mobilization. My reason behind that is this is just at the beginning of the battle. It increases your attack for 10% for 10 seconds, and that's it. You don't get it anymore. Whereas urgent mobilization, every time your ship drops to 50%, it increases your attack by 10% for 20 seconds. So if you're having in a heated battle and it goes up, down, and every time it drops below 50, so it can go, you can get healed up to 70 and drops below 50, you got the buff for 20 seconds. Then your health is healed all the way up. And then if your health drops below 50, boom, you got it again. So I feel that urgent mobilization would have more of a prolonged effect versus just one time 10 seconds in the beginning. Rampant on the very last one. I would probably, let me see here. So this one is assuming that your attack is higher than the target ship, you do more damage. And then this one is under the hero's command. If the defense is lower than the target, increases the impact. So I would probably go with all-out strike, just because it would do more damage to bait ships. So let's just say a ship that you're going to have aggro on, right, that is attracting your aggro, is probably going to have more defense, right, because it has a higher aggro, bait ships will have higher defense, of course. So when you're getting baited, it's of course this ship is going to have lower defense. So I would go all out strike, just increase the defense. Increase the impact on the bait ships. Versus this one would probably be where you are finishing the DPS last, and that's gambling that your ship has more damage on them. So if you're up against a higher player, the chances are that's not going to happen, right? It's more advantage if you're the higher player and killing lower end players. So overall pick for me would be all out strike. So guys, that's what I would pick all the way through for the Mai Shiranui's SP Talent trees 1 to 60. Remember to like and subscribe. I will be doing a video for Demona next, Callhan, and also Sylvia's SP Talent trees, and where I would go with that one. So remember to follow the series, guys. Check it out. Follow, subscribe, like. And if you guys like a 20% discount, remember to check out my comment section for Sky Castle. They have a great buyback program where you get discounted stuff for Gleamstones. So remember to check them out. Anyways, thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for the next one.